think no one's ever going to steal from your PTA or PTO? Think again. I have a story that is definitely something you will want to hear. This has just been not the craziest 2 weeks of my life, but it's really been up there and something I didn't expect I would have to deal with, but here I am. So I am going to share all of what I have learned in the past couple weeks, what I did when I found out about the theft, how I handled it, how it turned out or has turned out thus far, and how I think we got here, because I think I definitely made some good decisions early on that led to the result that we've gotten today. So I'm going to share all of that with you in this video. First, a little background. This year, I am serving as the PTA Council President for my school district. So not really for the school district, for the PTAs in my school district. So if you're not familiar with how PTAs work, each building in a district that is PTA affiliated will have a PTA, and they funnel up to the PTA Council, which funnels up to the state, which then funnels up to the national PTA. So we're all under this same umbrella. Coming up on I think it was 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I got a text from a treasurer of one of the lower elementary PTAs. I had never met her, but she texted me and she said, I just don't know what to do about this. Our bank account doesn't have enough money in it to pay an outstanding Scholastic book fair invoice left over from the spring. PTA had a book fair in May, but the invoice was still open. And so what the treasurer came to tell me was that the president had taken the cash after the book fair and she was to deposit it, and she said she would take care of it. Well, she took care of it, but in a way that nobody had anticipated, because several months later, we're now in September, the invoice had gone unpaid and there was no deposit in the bank account. So what happened that night was I didn't get involved right away because the treasurer had said, hey, I've texted her, she's supposed to make contact with me, and I'm hoping she'll say it's in a safe at school. I gave it the weekend to, I was being generous with the time. And as of Monday, I contacted the treasurer again and I say, did she contact you? And she said, no. I got a little more concerned than I had been on Friday, especially because this president had not been responding to my emails, unrelated council business, since May, about the same time as the misappropriation of money happened. Let's just call it that, because I didn't really know it was a theft. She didn't safeguard the money like she was supposed to. Then I called her because we were having a PTA meeting on the Wednesday, and on Monday, I called her and said, hey, give me a call. And so she texted back, not on Monday, but on Tuesday, and she said, I'll call you later. And I responded and said, it's really important that we talk today, so give me a call. Well, guess what? She never did. And so I sent her a text that night and said, listen, it is very important that I talk with you immediately. There is a missing deposit and the Scholastic Book Fair invoice has not yet been paid. I point blank asked her, did you not deposit the money? Let me know. Because I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe something weird happened and she got home from everything in May and put the cash box in her PTA bag and chucked the PTA bag to the side since she wasn't going to have to be doing anything for a couple months, totally giving her the benefit of the doubt. Well, guess what? She totally didn't respond to me on that. And any sane person, right, if they got that email or got that text rather, they would reply right away saying what are you talking about? Or, oh my God, or something. They wouldn't ghost you. Gave her 14 hours. She still hadn't responded. So off to the police I went and filed a police report. I just made my statement. One thing I did that really helped initially was, because it was kind of complicated of who everybody was, I made the police a who's who. So I listed the name of the president, all of her contact information, the treasurer's name, her contact information, the person who would receive the book fair invoice, because of course it was someone who was no longer involved with the PTA, had long ago her kids had graduated, included her information, included the information of the principal at the school. I should also say I did call the school to confirm that there was nothing there in the school safe. I did my due diligence before I filed a police report. Believe me, I gave this woman every opportunity I gave her a lot of leeway. I never said, you took the money, what's up? I said, what happened? did you not deposit the money, whatever. Soon after I made the police report, the president texted me back. So this was the second thing I did that was kind of good, was that I kept communicating with the president only in writing. Like, she wanted to talk to me on the phone at kind of different points, or she wanted to even meet up at later points as the story continues. But I just said, no, you need to talk with the police. And I just kept like a text transcript. It just was important because there were a couple different things that she said along the way that were kind of inconsistent and that I could point out to the detective who eventually took over the case. And I think it kind of helped. I feel like it helped. He didn't tell me that it did, but I just kind of feel like it helped. I know I felt good getting everything in writing. So that way there's no misunderstanding or whatever. She responded right away after the police officer called her, which was a good response, but she never said that she didn't have the money. She acknowledged that it was her responsibility and that she felt bad and she didn't mean to get herself into, trouble criminally. She never even answered my question from the day before. Fast forward 2 days and she texts me and says, I feel really bad about this. I want to meet with you tomorrow, blah, 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 whatever. You'll have your money. The money will be back to you on Monday. Okay, so this was Friday. So then Saturday, I am at my son's hockey game and I get a call from the police officer and he says, she's up here trying to write a check and we can't take a check. And did you threaten her? Like, threaten her with like that she was going to get in trouble criminally if she didn't pay the money back. I don't know why he would think that, but there was a situation where I was very glad that I had everything in writing because I said to him, I said, absolutely not. Why would I do that? I've had no communications with her outside of text messages, and I can send the full transcript to you. He didn't ask for them, so I didn't send them. So whatever. They also said that they couldn't accept the check at the police station for some reason. I do not know why. Anyway, he said, you guys are going to have to meet up yourselves. Fine. I texted her and I said, either we can meet up at the police station or can you just drop everything off, including like the binder and the checkbook and everything, all the other PTA property that you have, drop it off by the end of day on Monday. So this was like, I think I'm up to the third good thing I did. I sent firm and clear deadlines, right? So I knew that I could check with the school and say, did she drop it off? And that's what I did Monday night because I had told her, drop it off by the end of the school day on Monday. The school is open. The office is open. It's easy for anybody just to pop on in and drop something off, and they would know to secure it because the school has a safe. And I had already spoken with the two office administrators as well as both principals, so they kind of knew to be expecting it. Setting that deadline really helped because when she didn't return the money, by that time, I had already spoken with a parent who is an attorney, and I had explained what had gone on, and he actually already had kind of experience with someone embezzling money from a non-PTA, like an athletic booster club. I think I've made mention of this before. So this was the perfect person to reach out to. And I just wanted to get his idea on what I should be doing because I felt like the police weren't taking this seriously because it was a pretty small amount of money. Like the Scholastic invoice was only for like just shy of $2,800. So yes, for PTAs and PTOs, that's a good chunk of change. But in the larger scheme of things that get stolen, it's on the smaller side, right? So I just wasn't feeling like it was being taken seriously. And so I wanted to see what other options there were. Because of course you have the criminal liability and then you also have the civil liability. And I felt like even if there wasn't sufficient evidence to prove her culpability for her to be charged with a crime, she certainly had a duty to protect, care for, and safely care for the money like a civil basis. So I felt like we would win a civil case, but I'm not a registered attorney anymore. I'm inactive. And so I needed an attorney to handle it for us, if we wanted to go to court or even just to send her a lawyer letter. When she didn't return the property, then I just said to the parent who was so nice to offer to represent us for free, so if this situation happens to you, go talk to people, keep it on the down low. You don't not want to be going around town saying so-and-so is a thief and whatever, but you need to let people know, who need to know in order to handle it and stuff like that. I reached out to him and I said, she didn't return the stuff, big shocker. And, we don't have the money. And so I sent her an email and text that said the same thing, basically that I understood she did not return the money like she said she would. And she had 15 days to return the money or I would be retaining counsel. So I basically threatened to get an attorney, which I'd already done, but it was just kind of to keep the pressure on her. And the other thing I had done during the day, because I really did not think she was going to return the money, I reached out to the school district and let them know what was going on. Specifically, I reached out to the district treasurer, and he was very understanding and said, I'm so sorry you have to deal with this. He could not apply political pressure, but have some additional evidence to provide to the police department in hopes that they would follow up on it if he initiated an audit of the unit's books, right? So he sent an email probably to the president and said, hey, I need to see your books because as a PTO or PTA, you're like authorized to be an organization within the school. Like they have to give you permission to do that. He has every right, the treasurer has every right to audit the books when he wants. And so we were doing this just to kind of let her know that even if the cops weren't going to pursue this, there was going to be consequences in other ways. Like I didn't want her sliding out of this because she had made mention that maybe she couldn't remember where she put the money, which again, I don't know about you, but I safeguard $5 of PTA money. Like it's with my life. Like I take better care of that than I do with my kids sometimes. Like I always know where that money is and I make sure that it is kept safe and that it's deposited right away or given to the treasurer right away. So I thought it was kind of total baloney that she did not remember what even happened to the money. All of those things were kind of swirling along. I also forgot to mention that one of the first things I did was I did reach out to my state PTA and asked for guidance, and they were awesome about hooking me up with the state financial/treasurer advisor. She was awesome. She made me feel so much better about the whole situation and kind of let me know what to expect. And I just wanted to know if there was like a specific procedure to follow because it'll follow like it'll vary based on your state. So you definitely want to check in with them. But I did all of those things, which I really think helped. And then like midweek last week, I got a call from the police department and the case had been elevated to a detective who was awesome. He made me feel really good and I felt like he was actually going to be taking us seriously. So even though I had already started to kind of put things into motion in order to get more backing from the school district by like communicating with the treasurer, it turns out that was unneeded. I think it was good though because it kind of helped give like the full court press on the president to know that this wasn't going to be dropped. All of this to say that when I talked with the detective last week, he said, just be patient. This is going to take a while. Yes, this is important, but kind of what I said earlier, like we have bigger things going on right now that need attention and I'll get to this, but just be patient. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but I got a call today and went in and actually got a check from the detective. The president had her mom write the PTA a check. So I was able to get the check. I'm so relieved. I literally ran straight to the bank and got that thing in there because, oh, by the way, last week we had switched over all the signers. So I had authorization to be on the bank account just because of everything is funky. And so I was able to get a deposit. Now, fingers crossed that stinking check doesn't bounce. But if it does, I'll still just be able to go back to the police officer and I'm sure will be made whole, but I cannot tell you what a relief this is. So if you are in a situation where you have money missing, don't let it go. Like definitely follow up. And I am going to, I think, share in another video, like lessons learned. I hope that you've enjoyed this story. I am relieved. I know you probably can't even see it on my face. I just was like so happy because it's a lot and it's stressful. And I felt really bad that the kids were going to have to suffer as a result. Like, I don't know how they would have paid the Scholastic Book Fair. They would have had to do more fundraising this year to pay for somebody's, at best, stupidity of putting the cash box down somewhere, and at worst, someone thieving it. So anyway, all right, I will talk to you again later. Take care. Bye-bye.